You know who this guy is. And it's been a long time. It's been a while. So I said, like, I need to get back on my White Thugs Friday grind, which I needed to do. But let's get on right into it. You know who this is. Former new cheating Patriots tight end and former Florida Gator alumnus, if they want to call it that, because I hate the Gators as an FSU fan. This Aaron Hernandez, a quadruple murderer. We might as well say triple murderer. He happens to go ahead and be on trial. Whether his trial is still continuing. This guy is basically was basically the guy that set up the template for the reason why Tom Brady does what he did during Deflategate, trying to smash evidence or get rid of it and stuff like that so he won't be incriminated. But Aaron Hernandez is not who I want to talk about. But yes, let me take that back. Let me rephrase that. Yes, Aaron Hernandez is who I'm gonna I call her Sharon Hernandez is who I want to talk about. But more importantly, and more really disgustingly, who I really want to get at is because every time you got these guys, they always gonna have he got his little girlfriend, if you want to call it that. Cheyenne Jenkins happens to be the girlfriend of Aaron Hernandez. Every time, it's always got to be one of these bedwenches, man, who also help accomplish in the murders with that. So, she's on the stand today now, standing trial for the murders, for the murders. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to play an audio that's basically from that trial right now, concerning her, and then I'm just going to come back with my commentary.
Miss Jenkins, calling attention to tattoos. 256. Have you seen that?
Objection. Overruled.
The fiance of Aaron Hernandez on the stand today testifying about her history with the former New England Patriot, his tattoos, and his relationship with a key prosecution witness. WBZ's Christina Hager was in the courtroom. She's live in Boston tonight with a lot more. Christina?
Well, David, the testimony of Aaron Hernandez's fiancée today was not unlike her testimony in his first murder trial. A lot of memory lapses, a lot of repeating phrases like, I don't know, it was a long time ago.
First name Cheyenne, last name Jenkins Hernandez.
They're not married, she says, but she has taken the last name of the former Patriot star serving a life sentence for one murder and on trial for two more.
He was in the man cave. I stayed upstairs and I took care of my child. So you're asking me questions that I can't really answer for you, sir.
The real fireworks came when the prosecution displayed photos of gun tattoos Aaron Hernandez got after the murders.
Miss Jenkins, calling attention to tattoos. 256. Have you seen that?
Objection. Overruled.
No memory of this tattoo showing the same number of bullets prosecutors accuse Hernandez of firing in the Boston 2012 murders of Daniel De Abreu and Cevaro Furtado. The defense argues the ink is not an admission.
You've never known Aaron to create pictures on his body that narrate some lived experience in his life, have you?
No.
But Jenkins Hernandez does remember finding a real gun in the North Attleboro Cevaro home the couple shared with their daughter.
Weren't you concerned as to why Aaron Hernandez would have a gun in your home with your child?
Concerned maybe, but bothered, no.
The most memorable part of her testimony may be how much she did not remember.
Yes, I played my role.
Played your role? What does that mean?
Meaning I cleaned and I did everything else. I mean, there was no reason for me to ask any questions.
After she finished, the prosecutors called a cell phone records expert to the stand, and Hernandez was seen yawning and nodding off as the expert went through volumes of tedious records. This trial has gone on for a month now. The state expected to rest its case tomorrow. In Boston, Christina Hager, WBZ News.
You see that? Now, this child here, I mean, she basically what she's saying, sorry about that, she basically what she said in that trial, that when she said she played her role, so basically she just basically played the role of a typical Negro bedwench. You know, kept your mouth shut. You know, he murdered three people. One of them who happened to survive. But I'm gonna go in a little bit more detail on it though. So what I'm gonna go ahead with the article here that I got that's from CNN, and it just was updated like from yesterday. You know. Let's just go right into it. You know, her name is Cheyenne Jenkins. So, Aaron Hernandez's fiance testified Thursday in the former NFL star double murder trial that she couldn't recall key conversations. Yeah, double murder. I'm sorry, my apologies. I said triple, double. Couldn't recall key conversations she had with him, and then asked him what happened to a friend of his who was shot in the face. I learned to keep my mouth shut in certain situations. I played my role. There was no reason for me to ask questions. See that? She played her role. So that basically seeing like she basically kind of like incriminated herself. She say she played a role. I guess she knew about the double murders and tried to help cover it up. You know what I'm saying? Testifying under a grant of immunity, Jenkins Hernandez sat just feet from her fiance Aaron Hernandez, the former New England Patriots tight end, accused of killing two men in July 2012. Prosecutors say Hernandez, angered after an encounter in a Boston nightclub, shot and killed Daniel De Abreu and Cevaro Furtado as they sat in the vehicle later that night. At that time, Jenkins Hernandez was pregnant with Hernandez's child. The couple got engaged in October later on that year, and she gave birth to a daughter a month later. The crux of the prosecution case came from Alexander Bradley, a former friend of Hernandez who was granted immunity to speak. Bradley testified last week that he was driving Hernandez's vehicle when the athlete leaned across him and fired 5 shots into a packed car, killing De Abreu and Furtado. Bradley said he remained close friends with Hernandez until February of 2013 when Hernandez shot him in the face in Florida. He testified. Now, Bradley, he survived the shooting, but he lost one of his eyes, I think that was it right there. I'm not exactly sure, though. You can tell. So in testimony Thursday, Jenkins Hernandez says she's never asked Hernandez what happened to his friend, even after she learned from someone else that Bradley has been shot in the face. He was not my friend. We weren't sitting on the couch eating popcorn and watching movies. She said to Bradley, I pick and choose my battles. There are some things that are worth arguing about. There are some things that aren't. I didn't see that as being one of them. This girl, is she just stupid or sad or both? Like I said, he wasn't my close friend. Yes, it's a sad situation, but it's something that Why should I press on something like that? I had other things to worry about. On cross-examination, she said she thought Bradley was bad news and that it was a good thing they were not hanging out anymore. Now, this girl, she just basically lying here, lying there, or whatever like that. Recalls finding gun in drawer. Thursday marks the second time Jenkins Hernandez was called to the stand in the murder trial against her fiance. She also testified 2 years ago when Hernandez was accused of the June 2013 killing of Odin Lloyd. Hernandez was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison for that case, though he has appealed. Now, in Thursday's testimony, Jenkins Hernandez repeatedly said she could not remember key details of her time with Hernandez. In particular, she said she did not remember receiving a phone call from him at 2:30 a.m. on the night of the killings. Something didn't sound right, though. You can't remember key details of did not remember receiving a phone call. Now, something ain't right. Yeah. She also said she did not know the value of Hernandez's $40 million contract extension with the Patriots in August of 2012. At another point, she even said she could not remember the text of a tattoo she got with Hernandez in 2012. Okay, she said she don't remember a text of a tat, but she did, however, she said remember finding a gun in the junk drawer in Hernandez's home. She gave Hernandez a look. She testified. When she went back to the drawer later, the gun was gone. Okay. Jenkins Hernandez testified she did not believe Hernandez had a gun license, but that the firearm didn't bother. Wait a minute. You found the gun in the junk drawer. You gave Hernandez a look. Then you go back to the drawer later, the gun was gone, and then now all of a sudden she says it doesn't bother her? Now, here comes the punchline to her stupid little thing. I think there's many people that arm themselves and have guns in their home. This chick is just a total contradiction. Typical bedwench to a thug. And Aaron Hernandez is like, this is a picture of him at a nightclub with him and as the guy formerly known as Snoop Lion, another pothead idiot. Guys, you gotta be either was living under a rock or she just totally stuck on stupid, or just wake up in the morning and just have like a 12-pack of dumbass to not know that he murdered somebody, he had guns in the home, and shoot, you've been living there all this time, and you say you ain't never seen a gun there, then you seen a gun there, you never questioned that? She's basically an accessory to murder. And the testimony that y'all heard, that what she said on there, to my understanding, does that sound more like perjury? That she lying on the witness stand, and the article that I just read to you up and down, back and forth, contradicts that. Totally contradicts that. I mean, yeah, I know it's from these jokers though, so you ain't even got to worry about what's going to happen with that. Somebody need to go ahead and tell that stupid little girl that she need to go ahead and get out. But then again, it's too late for her. She already laid down with this piece of filth anyway and already procreated. So so, you know, like, look, what do you expect? What do you expect? You know what I'm saying? You know, the typical Negro bedwench. It reminds me, even closer to home here, of the Fort Lauderdale cop, that thug who were sending racist texts and stuff about then President Obama with gold teeth and all that, and black people, and you know, they end up getting caught. You know, he had his black girlfriend, his bedwench, come up there and testify, saying, "Oh, well, he's not a racist. He is this, he is that." See, I can't stand the psyche of some of these females. That I really can't. I really can't. They'll do anything and everything to go ahead to lie, to cheat, to steal, just so is at the behest and the destruction of black males. Now, Furtado and Abreu, I don't know those guys personally. I don't know their record. I don't know their background. But they were victims of him. The typical Latin dude being of Hispanic descent, because Hispanic is not a race, it's an ethnicity, that wants to have they love, that want to try to pass for being white. I mean, what am I saying? Pass for being white? No, they are white, you know. But they go ahead and get simple-minded chicks like this to go ahead and help cover up and for their murders and do this stuff like that, just so it just be at the behest of black person. But you know, Aaron Hernandez has always been problematic. You know, I still remember two of the cats that not Vernon Carey, but what's that other dude name? One of them that played for the Dolphins. He had a picture of himself saying him and his brother, one played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, the other played for the Miami Dolphins. Had t-shirts and all this and stuff saying free Hernandez and stuff. Free him for what? He killed two people in 2012. Then he tried to go ahead and attempt to kill another guy in 2013. Who happened to survive. This White Thugs Friday one, this should just be like, I should have just renamed this, you know, former NFL players turned killers. Ray Lewis will be right there with that. But in this case, in White Thugs Friday, yeah, Aaron Hernandez definitely makes it on there. Him and this other piece of filth who I'm about to get back to. I'm gonna come back on Aaron Hernandez, because that right there was self-explanatory. This other piece of filth right here. Now, Taurine Rain had already, my good buddy Taurine Rain had already did one on this, so this definitely makes my White Thugs Friday, and this has been going on for a week. In case y'all don't know who this Peckerwood is, happens to be James Harris Jackson, which makes me appalled because he's got my last name. You know, this is the cat that traveled all the way from Maryland. I got friends there in Maryland too. All the way to New York. Just said, quote unquote, I want to kill black people. And in New York, you know, that's the media capital, that's the financial capital of the world. But, you know, there's plenty of brothers and sisters up there in the NYC. But being the coward that he is, he goes ahead and attacks a 66-year-old black man and kills him. But then here's the game stream media do what they do best. They too busy trying to incriminate the victim instead of this piece of shit who nearly tried to go ahead and do another Dylan Roof. But like I said, they're cowards. They're all cowards. And don't be surprised that these jokers here will try to do everything they can to protect them, because that's how white supremacists do. They go ahead and protect one of their own, even at going ahead and killing somebody that's of being of melanated origin. But we all know the story about James Harris Jackson. We all know the story about him. We all know about how much of this he's a punk and he's a coward. I mean, I would not be surprised that if somebody turned around and take him out. That's what I would be surprised about. But he goes ahead here and attacks a 66-year-old black man who happens to be a veteran. Being the coward that he truly is. Because like in my book, once a coward, always a coward. So let me just go ahead and get into the article here. You know, James Harris Jackson, who left his home in Baltimore, Maryland on March 17th, took the bus to New York City with intent to harm black men. So on March 20th, he murdered a 66-year-old black man, Timothy Kaufman. Prosecutors charged Jackson with murder as an act of terrorism in court on Monday. I don't know acts of terrorism. It is terrorism. Because after all, when it comes down to terrorist acts in this country, it's always has been and will constantly be by whites, particularly white men. You know, Ku Klux Klan, neo-Nazi skinheads, all them faggots like them. The charge is in addition to the murder as a hate crime he already been facing. His attorney had no comment. Jackson did not speak. James Jackson prowled the streets of New York City for 3 days in search of a black person to assassinate in order to launch a campaign of terrorism against our Manhattan community and the values we celebrate. He chose New York City because it's the media capital of the world, and he wanted to make a statement. So basically, like I said, another Dylan Roof and Glory Hound or Timothy McVeigh, that type of guy. Jackson walked the streets of Manhattan's Hell's Kitchens neighborhood March 20th wearing a long overcoat which hid a 26-inch sword with an 18-inch blade. So 26-inch sword. So that was a katana he had. He encountered Kaufman while he was collecting bottles from trash cans on a sidewalk. Jackson attacked Kaufman, stabbing him multiple times in his chest and back. Kaufman, bleeding, staggered into a nearby police station a few minutes later. He was taken to nearby Bellevue Hospital where he died. Jackson turned himself in to authorities March 22nd after he had seen images circulated by police from surveillance cameras showing him at the scene. Oh, okay, I was about to say, because I'm saying in New York, all them damn surveillance cameras they got on every corner in New York City, and you mean to tell me nobody didn't catch it? I was about to go off. I really was. Childhood friends of Kaufman, who grew up in Queens, attended the hearing on Monday. Tim Kaufman did not deserve to die like that. You know, nobody does. I mean, come on. We're black, white, yellow, brown. That's ridiculous. We're trying to get along. You know, Jackson, who basically who basically is an Army veteran, Sorry. Let me just go here. Told authorities last week that he was angered by black men who dated white women, according to a criminal complaint. See, that's the excuse that these white supremacists are always using. You know, it's always the jealousy part. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I mean, black men dated white women for the longest and all that. I wonder if he feel the same way if it was white men that was dating black women. You know, typical. You know, typical insecurity and jealousy. That's how white supremacists get down. You know, typical knuckle dragging, cave dwelling, Caucasus Mountain descended clowns. Jackson also said he stalked numerous potential victims before choosing Kaufman. Now, in an interview with the New York Daily News on Rikers Island, Jackson was at times self-aggrandizing. Boasting of his white supremacy without shame. In other moments, he appeared dejected by society's rejection of his violent racist message. Jackson said he planned to kill numerous black men to deter white women from dating them. But when thinking back on this act of killing Kaufman, he said that he killed the wrong type of black man. Jackson would rather have killed, and I quote, code word people, a young thug or a successful older black man with blondes, people you see in Midtown. These younger guys that put white girls on the wrong path. Okay, let me stop right there. Okay, like I said, you gotta look at code words. A young thug, again, Fox News recipient, or a successful older black man with blondes. You know, and they put white girls on the wrong path. No, they don't. Brothers these days don't put white girls on the wrong path. That's up to her. She wants to go ahead and be with him. Sometimes they get out there and they put their own self on the wrong paths. You know, not even. It turns out 9 times out of 10 turns out to be the right path. You know, so I don't even know where that came from. So he could miss me with that bullshit. Now, he also said he grew up in a family of typical liberal Democrats. Code word again, though. In a predominantly white neighborhood outside of Baltimore. He said his grandfather in Louisiana had crosses burnt on his lawn because he was very pro-integration. But Jackson said from a young age he had begun having racist thoughts, sharing his views with like-minded people online. See, never disappoint from these crackers, never. The white race is being eroded. No one cares about you. The Chinese don't care about you. The blacks don't care about you. Okay, now to all them Asians guys, Chinese, Koreans, Japanese, they want to have their honorary white card. Listen carefully. He talking about y'all ass. But then again, y'all got L towards us. But you want to be like them. They don't give a fuck about you. He just told you that. Yeah, he just told you that. Let me continue. Jackson served as a specialist in the U.S. Army until 2012 and was deployed in Afghanistan for nearly a year before beginning December 2010. He said his military experience helped him in his plans to murder black men. You know, I've been thinking about it for a long time, for the past couple years. Jackson said, I figured I would end up getting shot by police, killed myself, or end up in jail. Now, also, the White House had got word of this too. On Monday, that same Monday, at the completion of U.S. Attorney General's Jeff Sessions' comments to the press on calling for an end to sanctuary cities in the U.S., April Ryan of American Urban Radio Network, in case y'all don't know, that's the sister who had that who Sean the moist press secretary Sean the dice liar slicer had a meltdown with, who's bureau chief and White House correspondent, attempted to ask Sessions about Kaufman's murder in New York City. Now, let me tell you something about with Jeff Sessions, who was garbage anyway. So, you know, she asked him, what about the Eric Garner case and the white supremacists that killed the black man in New York? Is that a hate crime, sir? As she asked him as he turned to leave the platform. Now, that's from the Twitter feed. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Got a lot going today. So I'm just go ahead. I'm gonna play the audio again on this, and I'm just gonna come back with my commentary. Oh, sorry about that. Let me do it again. So I'm gonna just let y'all look at the video, and you gonna see the Keebler elf Sessions goes ahead and he turns away when April Ryan asks him the question. You see that shit? This is why I couldn't stand that motherfucker, Jeff Sessions. Of course he's gonna go there. He's gonna, you know, he's gonna go ahead there, and they're gonna protect their own. That don't make me feel surprised. They're gonna protect their own. And like I said, that's why I bring up that 2015 FBI crime in the U.S. Crime stats table 43. That this right here is the face of terrorism. Also, it's also the face of heroin too. Because see, you ain't got to worry about race mixing being eroded. Heroin is taking them out. Nature itself is taking them out genetically. Because after all, they do nothing but incest and so on and so forth. Just much like that chick who was about to do a mass shooting outside from one of my good friends up in Maryland, who was about to do a mass shooting, and yes, it happens to be a white female that was the cause of it. So let me just go ahead and look for her. Because I'm telling you like that, this is a White Thug Friday, man. We gotta go ahead and go in on this. Sorry about that. Let me see if I can bring the picture up. see the whole thing? Well, let's just go ahead and get into it. I forgot what's the chick's name. That was the Maryland team who was about to plot a mass school shooting. But it was stopped by our parents. I think her name was Nichole or something, though. But just give me 1 second, because I'm really looking at it on my phone, so y'all could get out here and hear the shooting. Not the shooting, I mean, y'all can hear the audio regarding this. So, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna go ahead there and I'm gonna just go play it for y'all real quick. Play the audio real quick for y'all. I hate these stupid commercials.
Gathering the materials she needed, and that she was determined not to survive. Here's ABC senior justice correspondent Pierre Thomas.
These are the weapons that school and police officials had feared would be used in a massacre planned for April 5th. A shotgun, bomb-making materials, including pipes for a pipe bomb, a Columbine-style attack, allegedly.
My apologies. Let me do this right, because I got so much stuff going on this morning right now, so I don't want to disappoint. Yeah, but the parents had stopped it though, so I forgot the chick's name, So excuse me on top of that. If I forgot her name, I apologize. Because
chilling plot uncovered. Authorities tipped off about a very detailed plan to attack a high school, to shoot students, and to bomb the school. Authorities say an 18-year-old honors student was already gathering the materials she needed, and that she was determined not to survive. Here's ABC senior justice correspondent Pierre Thomas.
These are the weapons that school and police officials had feared would be used in a massacre planned for April 5th. A shotgun, bomb-making materials, including pipes for a pipe bomb. A Columbine-style attack allegedly plotted by an 18-year-old student at Catoctin High School, 90 minutes from Washington.
There is no doubt in our minds that we averted a disaster up there.
According to the sheriff, that student, Nichole Cevaro, had kept a chilling diary with a timeline about the imminent attack and detail about the school's emergency procedures. But her alleged plot was foiled by her own father, who alerted school officials and police on Thursday when he discovered the diary.
Do you feel like at the end of the day the parents put the community in front of everything else?
Obviously it had to be a tremendously difficult decision, but they did the right thing.
Police say the girl's diary specifically mentions Columbine. It's part of a disturbing trend. An ABC News investigation found that in the last 17 years, there have been at least 79 thwarted school massacre plots. More than half of the would-be attackers mentioned Columbine. Police have given no information about a possible motive, but they say there's no evidence of anyone else being involved in this alleged plot. As for the young student, she's been committed for an emergency mental health evaluation. David?
Pierre Thomas in Maryland tonight.
Yeah, you see, you hit it.
At the outset that this event was very probably prevented by the parents who stepped forward. They saw something, they said something, they came forward, they did the right thing. So I want to give all the credit in the world to the parents of this young lady who helped us avert a tragedy at Caucasoid.
Now notice how they say young lady.
This report was made by the father, the school officials who reported
if that was a black person,
to the sheriff's office. Our investigators responded immediately to act on it, to do everything we could right then and there to stop the threat. The involved student was 18-year-old Nichole Cevaro, a resident of Thurmont. She was immediately removed from the school without incident. No one was hurt or injured. The sheriff's office investigators determined early on that Nichole posed a threat not only to the school, the student body, but herself also. She was transported to Fredicksburg Memorial Hospital for an emergency evaluation. She is currently still hospitalized today. Now, our investigators moved very quickly to determine that removing her from the school, acting on the information they had, eliminating any ongoing threat to the school or the student body. So basically taking her out of the school at that point eliminated every threat we knew going forward. Investigators also concluded that at no time was a weapon or an explosive device brought onto school property. Also, with the assistance of ATF and the State Fire Marshal's office, we were able to conclude that the explosive materials found in her home had not been combined to construct an explosive device. So that's one thing we ruled out. However, I will tell you, obviously the intent was there. A couple other points I want to make. We have concluded to this point that this was a plot solely conceived by Ms. Cevaro. There are no other individuals assisting her in the planning or the execution of the plot. We are absolutely confident at this point, and I say this point, this is a fluid investigation, that she was the only one that knew of the impending date, and that the incident was averted as a result of this investigation. And I'll throw out the date. The date that we've determined the event was to occur was to be April the 5th of this year. To this point, the investigation has involved the search of the Cevaro residence, the recovery of evidence, the scrutiny of her diary, interviews with her friends, associates, and family members. Right now, this investigation is very much focused on her diary and the detail in the diary that clearly planned out a mass shooting event at the high school. The other thing we also learned, she had been compiling intelligence and information on security, coming and going of the school resource officer, the emergency procedures, and other drills conducted by school staff.
Sparkling ice isn't planned, so this commercial...
Okay. Now y'all heard that. That chick named Nichole Cevaro. Let's see something. Let me see. Yeah, so... Cevaro. Well, unfortunately, that's her right there. And see, they thought they were going to try to go ahead and hide her identity and stuff like that. So we already knew it was somebody white. But the point of the matter is like this. Like, we're not the ones going out here doing mass shootings or doing anything of that sort. And if you think I'm lying about when I say about these type of people, these white thugs, or so-called white thugs, all you got to do is just go right here. I'm not even finna sit up here and argue with you about that. This is the FBI 2015 crime in the U.S. crime table. And you can see right here for yourself when it comes to murder and non-negligent manslaughter, you know. Okay, you see like with blacks it's 51.5%, but then look at whites. They're not too far off, 45.9%. Shoot, when it comes to rape, 68% of them white, mostly male. You know, robbery, 53.5%. But mostly everything else, they lead in every other category. Aggravated assault, burglary, larceny, theft, motor theft vehicle, okay, arson. Yeah, when it comes to violent crime, arson, 60.1% white. Property crime, same thing. See, we ain't doing nothing like that. Other assaults, 65.9%. You know, all the stuff you see here. Even weapons carrying, possession, etc. Just like that James Jackson guy was doing. 57.7%. Vandalism, stolen property, sex offenses, except rape and prostitution, 73.1%. Now here's another favorite that comes up. Remember when we said, and my girl Ray Rivera, shout out to Ray Rivera first of all. That's one of my allies there too. The drug abuse violations, and I said that white people are the new face of heroin, 70.7%. Now see, other than that, we come to gambling, yeah, 56.4% in that, but you know, we lead in that. Okay, offenses against families, against the children, 65.8%. Driving under influence, 82.6%. Liquor laws, drunkenness, disorderly conduct. But yet, though, we're the thugs when it comes to disorderly conduct. St. Patrick's Day proved that. All other offenses except traffic, 68.6%. Okay, suspicion, 44.1%. Curfew, loitering, and violation, 52.8%. So that's just a message there to all you white hate trolls that like to come through my channel and want to talk that bullshit. You best better start taking a look. These are arrests of people that's over 18. Okay? Again, when it comes down to murder and non-negligent manslaughter. Okay? Blacks may lead like 50.4%. But look at this. Whites ain't too far behind. But they lead in every other category. Robbery, adults over there, okay. Not too far behind in that either. Okay? Aggravated assault, burglary, larceny, theft, all this stuff. Now see, that's table 43C. These are people for arrest over 18 and over. The one in the middle is under 18. Now when it comes down to that, in the case of Nichole Cevaro, whatever name is, I just haven't got it. Weapon carrying, possession, 56.6%. You know? Look at it right there. So it just comes to my conclusion. according to arrests by race of ethnicity. Now, in 2016, 69.7% of all individuals arrested were white. 26.6% were black or African American, and 3.6% were of other races. Now, of arrestees of whom ethnicity was reported, 18.4% were Hispanic. Aaron Hernandez. Now, the juveniles, persons under the age of 18 and 20, and arrested in 2015, once again, 62.9% were white, 33.9% were black. Now, the juvenile arrestees of whom ethnicity was reported, 22.8% were Hispanic. Now, the adults that were arrested, 70.4% white, 26.0% black, 3.7% were of other races. Adult arrestees, 18.0% of them were Hispanic. Aaron Hernandez. Now, white individuals were arrested more often for violent crimes than individuals of any other race, and accounted for 60.1% of those arrested. Now, it also states here, I'm going to be fair. Now, adults arrested for murder, 50.4% were black or African American, but 46.5% were white and 3.1% were of other races. Sometimes even this is flawed, but that's all right. You know, because you're not too far behind. Because, see, I guarantee you, a lot of these crimes were like falsely accused. Black or African American juveniles comprise 50.8% of all juveniles arrested for violent crimes. White juveniles account for, get this, 59.1% of all juveniles arrested for property crimes. Property crimes. That includes arson. We're not doing that. Now, juveniles arrested for drug abuse violations. Remember when I said 75% of them white. That's why I said, why we all said, myself, Torian Rain, Ray Rivera, we said the heroin epidemic, white people are the new face of the heroin epidemic. Now, white juveniles comprise of 55.7% of juveniles arrested for aggravated assault and 60.5% of juveniles arrested for larceny and theft. So, bottom line, 83% of the crimes that's committed in this country are committed by white people. Let's just keep it real. These jokers ain't shit. Every last one of them. And they're going to turn around and usually have one of their dumb Negro bedwenches, or probably one of their moist dudes or whatever, that go ahead and sympathize with them. If they don't understand, overstand, and understand what the hell get out means, they better do it now. But other than that, I'm not feeling sorry for them. You know what I'm saying? You reap what the hell you sow. Shoot. And that's going to conclude my special edition of White Thugs Friday. Shoot. So, with that said, when it comes down to these guys, the hell with them.